Hey there, and welcome. So if you're over 50 and you're even a little curious about AI, this is for you. We're going to skip all the complicated tech talk and really focus on just one simple shift in your thinking, a shift that uses the decades of experience you already have to make these new tools work for you.
You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. You have a simple question, you think, I'll just quickly Google it, and boom. 20 minutes later, you've got 14 tabs open, you're more confused than when you started, and you can barely even remember the original question. It is so frustrating, and it's a huge sign that our old habits just aren't cutting it anymore.
For years, we got really good at what I call keyword talk. You know those choppy little phrases like shoulder pain causes over 50. And what do we get back? A wall of blue links, ads that are trying to look like real answers, and a dozen different opinions that all contradict each other. Your brain is left to do all the heavy lifting, trying to piece it all together.
And that really gets to the heart of the problem. That old magic of just Google it starts to break down when we need more than just a quick fact. It's because we're using a tool that's like a phone book when what we really need is a partner to think with.
And this old way of searching has these hidden costs, right? There's the sheer mental load of trying to connect all those dots. There's real decision fatigue from having to sort good information from bad. And then there's the big one, privacy. You know, research shows again and again that adults over 50 are, and for good reason, more concerned about data privacy. Every new click is another cookie banner, another pop-up, another potential risk.
So here's the crucial point. Google is still fantastic for finding facts, like what time does the hardware store close? But for complex, personal stuff, planning a trip, weighing your options, trying to write a tricky email, you need a totally different approach. You need a partnership.
Okay, so this brings us to the big idea. This is the mindset shift that really changes the entire game. I want you to stop thinking about this as some mysterious, intimidating technology, and instead picture something completely different.
I want you to meet your new AI intern. This is the mental model. Think of any AI chat tool as an eager, incredibly fast, but pretty inexperienced junior intern. It's ready to work, but it needs you, the experienced supervisor, to give it some context, to give it clear instructions, and to check its work. All of a sudden, you're not the one being tested, you're the one in charge.
And this quote just nails it. The pressure to hunt for those magic keywords is completely gone. Your job now is to just calmly explain what you need, exactly like you would to a new assistant. It's a huge shift from hunting to delegating.
Let's look at a really concrete example. The old way, you type in retirement planning tips, and you just get a fire hose of generic articles. Now, the new way, using that intern mindset, you give it a role, you give it some context about yourself, and you tell it exactly what you want. I mean, which one do you think is going to give you a better answer?
Okay, so that sounds good in theory, right? But how do you actually do it? How do you brief this new intern of yours so you get what you want? Well, the good news is there's a super simple, repeatable formula for it.
It just breaks down into these three simple parts. First, you give a little context. Second, you state the specific task. And third, you tell it the format you want the answer in. That's it. Context, task, format. Let's see how it works.
Let's take a real-world example, like planning a trip to Italy. The old way is that keyword talk, just a jumble of words we toss at the search bar. And that road leads right back to that classic mess of scattered, disconnected results. Okay, so now let's try briefing our intern instead.
So we'll build a better prompt using our little framework. We start with context. You give it a role, you are my travel assistant. And then you add a few key human details. I mean, notice how saying, my knees are a bit sensitive is such a simple thing, but it will completely change the kind of recommendations you get back.
Next up, you add the task. See, this isn't some vague wish, it's a clear, direct instruction. You want a 5-day itinerary, you specify short walking days, which connects right back to your context, and you ask for specific hotel options. Nice and clear.
And finally, the format. This is how you make sure the information is actually easy to use. A simple table for the hotels, a bullet list for the bookings. You've just turned a chaotic, stressful search into a structured, personalized travel plan just by giving a clear briefing.
But of course, just like with a real intern, you don't just take the first draft and run with it. The next step is absolutely crucial, and it's reviewing the work. This is where your life experience is your most powerful tool.
Here's a really simple safety check for you. First, just ask yourself, does this actually make sense for my life? Your gut feeling here is really important. Second, keep an eye out for things that sound a little too good to be true or weirdly vague. And third, this is the most important rule, If it's about your health, your money, or legal issues, you must verify the information with a qualified human professional. The AI is a great starting point, never the final word.
A helpful way to think about it is in terms of risk. For low-risk stuff like drafting an email or brainstorming gift ideas, a quick glance is probably fine. But for anything high-risk, health, finance, legal questions, you treat the intern's work as just a first draft that you're going to go discuss with a pro.
And what if the AI gets something wrong? Well, it's not a mistake, it's just feedback. You wouldn't get frustrated with a junior colleague for needing a little bit of guidance, right? It's the same thing here. You just tell it what to change. Hey, make this sound friendlier, or shorten this part, or you forgot that I have sensitive knees. Correcting it is just part of the conversation.
So when you start putting all these little pieces together, something really fundamental starts to happen. You stop being a searcher, and you start becoming something much, much more powerful.
This is the journey we're talking about. You move from being a frustrated hunter, lost in a jungle of browser tabs, to becoming a calm delegator who is in complete control. The feeling shifts from one of being overwhelmed to one of empowerment. And let's end on this one last crucial idea. You are not trying to impress the machine. You don't need to know any special jargon or clever tricks. Your only job is to be the experienced human in the room, guiding this tool with your judgment, your context, and your wisdom.
Your life experience is truly your superpower in this new world. So here's what I want you to take away. Just start small. Think of one simple, kind of annoying task you have to do today, and just try delegating it to your new AI intern. See how it feels. And if you want to keep learning in this practical, simple way, you can find more at rahendosimple.ai.com. Thanks so much for joining me.